There's a hidden truth about Johnny Carson that many people never knew. He wasn't just the charismatic king of late-night television or the man who made The Tonight Show an American institution for 30 years. Behind his legacy was a secret list he rarely discussed publicly. Before his death, he revealed 7 guests he despised so much that he used his influence to ban them from television forever. Some were Hollywood legends, others close friends. Once you hear the first name, you'll see why his silence hid deeper darkness than expected. Number 1. Wayne Newton, the backstage confrontation that made Carson snap. Among the guests Johnny Carson disliked, none sparked a scandal as dangerous as Wayne Newton. His story tops the list because he did what no one else dared: confront Carson face-to-face at NBC studios, ready for a physical fight. For years, Carson mocked Newton in monologues, jokes about his youthful looks, Vegas persona, and even subtle hints about his sexuality. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, such insinuations could destroy a career. Newton tolerated it until Carson crossed a line on live TV, making the jokes personal and damaging. Instead of calling or sending a manager, Newton showed up in person, bypassed security with his fame, entered Carson's office, and said calmly but firmly, "You can joke about my singing or my hair, but if you ever joke about my sexuality again, I'll kick your ass." Carson stood up, using his height for dominance, and replied coldly, "Get out before I have you thrown out." The ban was immediate and permanent. Carson told staff never to book him again. Newton's national exposure faded without the show. Though his Vegas career survived, their rift was never mended. Newton later said he'd do it again. Number 2. Joan Rivers, the betrayal Johnny Carson never forgave. With Joan Rivers, there were no misunderstandings or second chances. When Carson saw headlines announcing her new rival late-night show on Fox in 1986, without her telling him, their relationship ended instantly and forever. Rivers wasn't just any guest. Carson had championed her, mentored her privately, given her the guest host spot, and told America, "You're going to see a lot of her." He made her career happen in a cutthroat industry. But when Fox offered the deal, Rivers accepted secretly, knowing NBC wasn't considering her as Carson's successor and fearing she'd age out at nearly 50. Fox leaked the news before she could call him. Carson went silent, then whispered, "She didn't even call me," his most personal hurt ever shown. He ordered her name erased from the show, old clips deleted, mentions forbidden, calls rejected. He said, "She's dead to me." It wasn't about competition. It was loyalty, reopening childhood wounds from distant parents. They never spoke again. Rivers' career and marriage suffered. She later admitted, "Losing Johnny was like losing my father." Number 3. Charles Grodin, the guest who humiliated Carson on his own show. What kind of guest questions if Carson even cares about his job? Charles Grodin did, turning Carson's smile into cold fury on air before millions. From the start of his appearances, Grodin was confrontational, not funny, but probing and exposing. He rolled eyes, interrupted, seemed annoyed, then accused Carson of not reading his book, asking lazy questions, and phoning in interviews. Carson played along at first, thinking it was an act, but it sharpened. The breaking point. Grodin smirked and asked, "Do you actually care about any of your guests? Or is this just a paycheck?" The audience laughed nervously. Carson froze. It exposed his hidden emotional distance, warm on camera, remote in life. During the break, Carson told his producer quietly, "We're done with that." Grodin was banned. No explanation, just silence. It was about respect for the host, show and image Carson protected. The ban lasted his career. Grodin later admitted, "Maybe I went too far." Number 4. Shelley Winters, the night she threw a drink in Carson's face. Some TV moments are so sudden and violent the studio freezes, and Shelley Winters created one Carson never forgot or forgave. She arrived unsteady, unfocused. and clearly intoxicated, not the beloved actress fans expected. Carson sensed trouble, but tried gentle steering. When he made a light joke, her face hardened. She grabbed her whiskey glass and splashed it in his face. The room went silent. Viewers gasped. Carson sat drenched and stunned, losing his famous composure. During the commercial, he walked off furious and soaked. Winters was escorted out. Back on air in a new suit, he continued but told staff firmly, "Never book her again." It was public disrespect, violating the unwritten rule of professionalism toward the host and show. To Carson, it was an attack on his dignity. She never returned. The ban held until retirement and beyond. Number 5. Truman Capote. The drunken meltdown that ended his Tonight Show career. Truman Capote earned his ban not from a feud, but by showing up so intoxicated he nearly sank the broadcast. He staggered on, eyes unfocused, voice shaky. The audience laughed politely, assuming eccentricity. Carson knew it was chaos. The interview unraveled. Slurred answers, half sentences, inappropriate comments. Carson tried shortening questions, changing topics, turning it to comedy. Nothing worked. The peak. Capote rambled into an explicit, unairable Hollywood party story. Carson cut to commercial early, a rare emergency move. During the break, he told Capote firmly, "You're not well tonight." The segment wrapped in under 4 minutes, one of the shortest ever. Capote was escorted out. Staff were told, "He's not coming back." Carson understood personal demons but saw it as betraying audience trust, making him look careless. Capote's career lost the platform. The ban was absolute, never revisited. And there they are. The 5 names Johnny Carson carried to his grave. 5 careers he quietly dimmed with a single phone call. 5 egos he crushed without ever raising his voice in public. Wayne Newton, Joan Rivers, Charles Grodin, Shelley Winters, Truman Capote, and the others. Each one crossed a line that only Johnny got to draw. Some fought back. Some begged for forgiveness. Some never even knew they'd been erased until the bookings dried up and the phone stopped ringing. But none of them ever sat on that couch again. For 30 years, Johnny Carson wasn't just the king of late night. He was the gatekeeper of fame itself. Cross him once, and the most powerful stage in America disappeared for you. Forever. So tell me in the comments, which one of these bans shocked you the most? And more importantly, which one do you think Johnny was actually right to enforce? If you want more videos, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.